Hi, baby. Hi. I love you. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Yeah, that's you. It is you.
Taking down the archway so we could till up where the tomatoes and other stuff was. Make our yard again.
We need to get the dry beans off of that.
I'll move it out of the way and you can pick it off with kids.
Yeah!
Look at those mussels. This year we had our tomatoes and rows in our front yard. We decided to go ahead and change this around. We'll be doing more raised beds instead of in-ground gardening. We have black mats in the middle of the rows, and we repurpose those, and John's using them for where he processes. While John is outside tilling our front yard, he is doing that to level out where the tomatoes were. This year, whenever we did our tomato rows, I mounded where we planted. That way we would have more root growth from the plant. So it's not level, it's like divots. So he's out there currently tilling to help flatten it. My hope for next year is that we would utilize that space for raised beds. The raised beds that we have outside has been repurposed lumber and repurposed water troughs. Both of the water troughs were given to us. My dad was able to cut them in half, and we're able to utilize them in that sense. While he is outside doing that, I'm going to start some fermented pickles. If you never had fermented pickles, they have been the best I have made this year. A little bit about us. My name is Katie.
My name is Owen.
Yeah. Owen is our oldest son. He is 7. He'll be turning 8 in November. Our middle child is Wyatt, and he just turned 4 in August. The youngest kiddo, you've seen her, is Nora, and she is roughly 18 months old. Whenever I do the fermented pickles, I always add a garlic clove. Normally the cloves that I have are larger than this, but this is like the little bit that was left over from last year. And I don't have any fresh dill, so I'll be using some freeze-dried dill to add to them. Earlier this year, I made quite a few batches of pickles, and any of the leftover brine, I always save it. So I have a half gallon of my salt brine already made up, so I'm just going to fill up the jar and submerge all of the contents. To keep the contents submerged, I'm going to be using a fermentation glass weight. Now, since I'm not using a head of dill, I'm using the dried dill. I have some that are floating on the top. You have to be careful with that because that can mold. I think next time what I would do is I would put the dill in first to make the dill on the bottom. I went ahead and I took all of the chicken that I got done from earlier last week, and I went ahead and put it on the table, and I was writing down all of the totals, and it's pretty hot, so I'm going to wait to share the totals, but I wanted to show you all of what I have. I was able to get the wings off and save them. We have the breast. I went ahead and took the tenders out. As I was writing down the totals of all the pieces, I thought I did a good job in like laying it semi-flat and I didn't think it was wet. I'm actually thinking the middle one possibly lost its seal, and so I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I was trying to write down the totals. The total on top is 4.45 pounds. So I'm going to try to base an average on how many bags of laid quarters I actually have. I'm going to get this back in the freezer and I'll come back with the totals. Alright, totals. For wings, we had 3.65 pounds. I was able to do that into 2 different packages. For the thigh and the leg quarter, I keep calling it a quarter. I don't know if that's, I don't think that's a proper, is it a proper term for it? For the thighs, and I didn't get the weights on 2 of them because the bags froze together. But for what I do have, I was able to get 22.2 pounds. And yes, there is bone in that, but you can repurpose that bone. For the chicken tenders, I was able to get 4 packages. The total is 8.9 pounds of tenders. And then the chicken breast, we were able to harvest 16.33 pounds. And I was a little over in the original estimate of how many John was hoping to get done that day. We were talking about trying to do 50 in a week. It's not going to happen. He was able to get 18 chickens butchered and processed. And for me to debone and quarter, I feel like we were able to get a really good yield from just 18. That's the weight list. The practice makes perfect. I think I'm going to
How about
hold on a minute.
mom's pasture?
Owen wants to take you on a tour of our little setup.
Yeah,
Where do you want to go first?
how about we go right down here? That's our mom's pasture.
Right here.
Yeah, right there. It's also where our chickens lay eggs are.
What's in that little one?
That little one is chicken feed. Well, no, not chicken feeders. Chicken
Nesting boxes?
Yeah, nesting boxes.
Okay.
And right over there, they're not supposed to lay in there, but they do. They find a good place where Rosie and Buddy can't get in there.
Yep. They also lay eggs in the hay feeder too. So this pasture used to be where our moms were. They are now in this little pasture with the buck.
Oh, there's some kind of bird that can eat our chickens right there. Now, these are meat chickens. They really look one of our hens that will, one of our future hens that will lay blue eggs.
So these are what kind of chicken, Owen?
Meat birds.
They are Cornish cross.
Well, Cornish cross.
So where did you get the wood for this?
Remember that house that we were going to build? These are the forms for the window.
The window box?
Yeah.
Is this the first tree fort you ever built, babe?
I don't know how to answer that. Like, you're kind of like...
Since I was alive?
For my kids? Yes.
But for hens, no.
Yeah. Didn't you ever try to do this as a kid?
Did you?
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
Well, I didn't. It wasn't in a tree. I made a teepee out of sticks.
Tell me more about this teepee.
It's probably still standing.
What's going on up here?
Hi, Rosie. Oh, hello, little girl. Hey, Waddy.
I
Oh.
think that's
Nora.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Love you. Hi, baby.
Hi, baby. That's not my Zenner. Daddy.
Love you.
That's not my inside. It was now my teeth don't want.
He does want the
Pretty hardcore.
pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Goats are hardcore.
Messing with tools there. Owen, give me that.
Look at her.
Alright, I'm gonna go mount.
What are you doing?
So then underneath the
Love you.
bars.
You have to be careful up there.
Every bar.
Eva, speak. This basil has completely taken over. Look at all that peppermint. Lemon balm.
Is that seriously peppermint?
Yeah, the peppermint, it started out as a very tiny thing, and then it just spreads and really takes over. Chew it. Just fresh feeling, right? You can spit it out, it's okay.